Then give the call to the honourable member for Wills.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. My question is to the Minister for Housing and Homelessness. How is the Albanese government alleviating housing stress for more Australians, helping first home buyers by making it easier to save for a deposit and getting people into their own homes sooner? And what are the alternatives?
Good question.
Give the call to the Minister for Housing and the Minister for Homelessness.
Thank you, Speaker, and I really want to thank the member for Wills for that question. Housing is an absolutely massive issue in his electorate. We've met together with some of his young constituents and they've talked to me about the difficulties that they're facing with this urgent national problem. And, Speaker, it's partly due to the advocacy of the member for Wills that we are part of the boldest and most ambitious Australian government on housing in more than a generation. Now, Speaker, when it comes to housing, there's going to be a really clear choice ahead for the Australian people. On this side of the parliament, we've got a Labor government that's investing $32 billion to build more homes for Australians, to help renters and to support Australians into home ownership. On that side, we've got an opposition that wants to cut $19 billion out of housing funding in the middle of a housing crisis. On this side of the parliament, we're working with the states to build 1.2 million homes around the country. On that side, they want to lower the national ambition and scrap a housing target altogether. On this side of the parliament, Speaker, we're investing $10 billion to build tens of thousands of social and affordable homes through the Housing Australia Future Fund. On that side of the parliament, they want to scrap the Housing Australia Future Fund, rip up the $10 billion and instead start a $10 billion long lunch tab for corporate bosses. Are you serious? On this side of the parliament, we're investing in building 55,000 social and affordable homes. On that side of the parliament, they produced 9,000 social and affordable homes in their entire decade in office. Speaker, on this side of the House, we've invested $1.2 billion in crisis housing in 3 years. In 3 years, Speaker, we've invested 20 times as much as the Coalition did in their 9 years in office. 20 times as much. Speaker, on this side of the parliament, we've helped 140,000 Australians get into the property market with lower mortgage deposits. That's more than double those on the other side of the parliament, who only helped 60,000. Speaker, on this side of the parliament, we've helped 1 million Australian households struggling to pay their rent with a 45% increase in Commonwealth rent assistance. On that side of the parliament, they didn't increase Commonwealth rent assistance once beyond CPI in the entire 9 years that they were in office. On our side of the parliament, we're training 55,000 tradies that we need to help us build more homes for the country. Over there, they call fee-free TAFE wasteful spending. Now, Speaker, we've got a really clear contrast here between a bold and ambitious government and a coalition that has absolutely no plan for housing. Remember, Speaker, that when they were last in government, they were so checked out of housing that for most of the time that they were in government, they didn't even have a Commonwealth Housing Minister. Speaker, they've spent the last 3 years trying to block and delay critical housing measures. There's a choice here between going back to the bad old days with a negative opposition that ignored the problem for a decade, or letting the Albanese government get on the job with dealing with the housing challenges faced by Australians.